Oh, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Welcome to the month of October 2025. You are a career dynamo. You are on fire. Your prosperity, your work, and your career are up and running full steam, but also some health improvements and some increase in your financial wellness are probably on the menu for most of the Aquarians this month ahead. We're going to break it down week by week and talk about that, including a moon in Libra and a moon in Aries. Of course, that's going to favor a lot of us as well because these moons are quite positive this month. We're getting over the energy of last month's eclipses. Does anybody have a hangover? I sure do. I'm Aquarius rising like you, but I'll keep my personal story out of the content today. So the first thing we're going to do as we get started here is we're going to look at the sky and break it down. And if you're new to my channel, please give me a chance by liking and subscribing, or at least watching this video and liking it. And I am Lori Lothian. This is Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology. If you don't know this, I am also an astrology teacher. I have been teaching for years. If you want to join me on Sky Reader, my 6-year teaching this pivotal course of mine, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life. I'm going to give you 6 weeks of live teaching content, Q&A, coaching calls midweek. We also have guest teachers on astrocartography, relocation astrology, Sabian symbols, grand aspect patterns in your natal chart, and Zodiac are releasing a very cool, slightly advanced tool. The class is for advanced beginners to early intermediate learners if you really want to dive in to the traditional astrology and the Time Lord tools that go with it, and Time Your Best Life. And my dear friend and colleague, Renn Butler, is teaching again his yearly 6-month course starting in October. If you want to join him, you'll get a special code from me. It's an amazing class. I was a student in 2020 and I didn't miss a class. I loved it so much. And he's a great teacher. And in archetypal astrology, you take 6 months of that, you can start doing readings with people, but you also learn to understand your own chart and your very own life and your birth matrix a lot better. So that information is in my description box. Tell him I sent you. If you say Lori Lothian sent me, he's going to give you the discount code that had expired for the early bird just for the people who find him through my channel. So go ahead and check that out as well. Now let's get going. My class starts September 27th. So if you're getting this video much after that, I don't know if I'm going to go for early and later enrollment openings, but give it a check. Information on all of the stuff I talked about is in the description box underneath the video. Hit the more button, ... All right, here we have it. This is the sky starting up October the 1st. And you can see it is a sky that looks a lot less gnarly than last month's sky. And the first thing that happens at the beginning of the month, is that we see Mercury and Jupiter talking to each other. And Jupiter is in your work house, the job. He's exalted, your career, maybe things to do with your health. And he's looking at Mercury in the 9th house of international book publishing, academia, foreign lands, and information news, or something opportunity-wise coming to you. Let's say the last 2 days of September and the first 2 days of October. This will feel spacious and positive because there is an applying square from Lord Mercury in great exaltation. He's going to bonify this. Now, when I look at this, I see that there's a little T-square to the chironic wound. This could help you heal a chironic wound about travel, about your sibling relationships, about your writing and social media landscape. Something good wants to happen here to buoy things up and really begin to make a turning point. Now, I don't see much about the health that I'm super worried about, but with Chiron here, who can be like a medical professional in your local hood, some of you might be coming into contact with a new medical professional who has all the right medicine for you. And this could be with this, like a chiropractor, a shaman, an alternative healer, and a real information discovery about that person or that process. Last 2 days of September, first 2 days of October. October the 6th, the full moon at 14 degrees of Aries. You planted a new seed here back in the end of March this spring behind us. And by mid-April, you should have known what that was. Did you plant a seed for teaching, learning, traveling, for neighborhood, change of home, change of hood? So I'll give me as an example. I'm an Aquarius rising, just so you can compare notes. It was in March that my landlady said she's going to sell the house. And then by June, I'd moved into the place you're seeing me in now. You see, seed was planted, a new place was created. Now there's a fulfillment, there's a spotlight. So some of you are going to change your neighborhood. You can be traveling, moving, writing, communicating. Social media projects and websites are also the seeds that are here. So things that you've been planting now are fulfilling and harvesting and completing and ripening in this part of your chart. And a full moon also can have sometimes a completion energy. So within 6 months after the moon, say take October the 6th and add, let me put that up for us, add about 6 months. Oh my goodness gracious. Sorry, guys. And you might be moving again. Now, I probably will be because I've got too much noise and I want to get off the high-rise life. But I would say that if you don't move to another neighborhood again, there's things to do with like the fulfillment of something that you wanted to accomplish down here, like write a book or take that pilgrimage or do that long distance travel with, this energy here, apply for that educational program, teach that course. So now you'll see a fulfilling quality to this story, a completion fulfillment. All right. So it's going to be October 6th. You'll know about mostly within 2 weeks what it's really about. And by the time you get to 6 months out, you'll know the whole lay of the land. And let's move into October the 7th through to October the 14th. Now, Mercury will begin to form a square to Pluto as he has just moved into Scorpio on October 6th. He had been in Libra for a bit of time, and that would have been September 18th to October 5th. And now he's moved into your 10th house. This is where it's really about you speaking, communicating, maybe teaching in the top of your sky. You're at the head of the boardroom office, especially with Mars there. You're in charge of something. You're negotiating with your boss for raises and promotions. You've got support from Mercury. He's very subtle. He's very stealthy. He's very esoteric. He's very occultist here. But you got the magician Mercury supporting your career structures and success, actually, in a very viable and beautiful way, all the way from the beginning of this ingress on October 6th to October 29th, making October a very successful month for most of you relative to the matter of your career. Now, as he's up here, he's also going to be consorting with Mercury, Mr. Action, Passion, Drive, and Ambition. And we'll get to that a bit later. But notice that those two energies are quite compatible for career success and commercial success in one's career. But when he first gets into the Scorpio waters from the 6th to the 8th, he's going to square Pluto. Pluto is usually what's hidden from view, what isn't seen, what's under the surface of you. You are becoming one with Pluto until 2044. What can you discover about yourself, reveal about yourself in connection to the word transformation and metamorphosis, your career ambition and your career success? So there's some insight that comes to you. Now, it can come from another person. It could come from somebody in the career space, could come from a guide, a mentor, a teacher, or a therapist, or a shaman, but you're going to have some new insight and uncovering about career motive, career drive, and career ambition. Possibly you might have some information or news coming to you that you didn't expect because it was like, you weren't seeing it coming from somebody in the higher up space, a job, a boss, somebody in your authoritative space in your career. And it might be a bit of a harsh conversation with Mars there. That's like, what the hell? But you're Pluto. And you're like, nothing's getting you down. You're going to look over at that and go, look, what? Don't bother me. It's very Mafia Godfather up there. You are Mafia Godfather. You don't really care. But you might get some darts of intense conversations that might not feel good. And feedback might feel like someone's poking at you with a scorpion stinger in your career space at that time. So that's not a good feeling, but that's what might happen October 6th to the 8th, and this too shall pass. Now, on the 8th to about the 10th, Venus and Jupiter are sextile, which is extremely powerful and positive. It came off of a new beginning in the house of work, health, pets, and rentals. August 12th, when these two conjunct in your 6th house. I believe it was August 12th. And that conjunction then opens up like a bouquet of roses that was now having its first real fragrance reach you, and the 8th house of chunky money. Now, because of South Node is here and last month's eclipse, it's about Venus is like, I'll give you money, but you need to let go of something first. Let go of whatever this thing is. Maybe it's a source of income that you thought you still wanted to. Well, it's not really income. It's a chunky money. Like you're sleeping at night and the money comes in, like ad revenue, royalty income, investments in the stock, spousal support, government support checks, that kind of thing. So it's positive. I don't want you to fret here. It is positive because Venus is being activated by an applying Jupiter in his exaltation. You can't go wrong. But there is a feeling that it's not about what you add, it's about what you subtract in order for you to find an increase of prosperity and health in the daily work and health routines. With the moon exalted in your fourth house around October 8th, as this thing is activating, you may also come into some kind of financial situation that allows for more abundance and in the opening for an exalted new home. Now, by exalted new home, it could be a rental property of some sort, okay? Because of Jupiter in the house of a serfdom. So you may be able to rent your home out and find the ideal tenant. You might be able to find a new place to live and rent a new home out. I mean, exaltation energy in the fourth house, exalted Jupiter in the sixth house. It's a nice vibe on October the 8th, okay? I think it feels good. I think you're going to get some financial ducks in a row in a very positive way. Maybe rearrange and shuffle your investments. Maybe get some money out of your long-term savings and do something with it, like your investment savings accounts and stuff like that. A pet. Oh yeah, and maybe a pet, but it would be a soulmate pet, a pet from another lifetime. You've known each other before. You traveled many lives together. This pet was yours in earlier in life and they passed. So an exalted pet opportunity as well. All right, and then we move into the next story, which is we're going to connect after that Jupiter-Venus love up to Saturn and Venus having a difficult conversation that feels constrictive. That's because Venus will move closer to the end of the sign of Virgo and be opposite Saturn in your second house. This is a money axis for most people. It's literally going to look, it is really going to look like a crunchy energy around finances. You know, Saturn is constraining and containing and giving you architecture for saving your money, getting a better, stronger wallet. And he's being conservative about spending. Venus loves to spend, right? She's like, yeah, I'll take any, let me spend. She's fallen. You might be looking at like a big ticket item, an expenditure, especially since Saturn rules the house of expenditures around October the 10th. And you might say to yourself, I don't know if this is a good idea. And there's a tug of war between activating that expenditure or not. Now, it can also feel like there's just a stalemate here, all right, between opposing desires or agendas. And you don't know yet what the right answer is. You're going to have to like breathe through it. Venus is the ruler of home and property. It might be a need to or want to have a very expensive outlay for something for your home, for a vehicle for your home, getting a new vehicle, or maybe purchasing a home. Something about the word home and expenditures and expenses and just a crunchy vibe, like crunch, crunch. Doesn't last very long. That's the good news. And the whole point of it isn't to make you feel constrained. It's to make sensible, wise, sober-minded, and realistic financial choices. And you will know the right way if you listen to the sage-like wisdom within you, because Saturn is the Lord of your sign, and he won't let you down. He got me to incorporate last year. He's a good guy for us in our second house of money. Okay, so that's going to be playing out around the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, even into the 13th. And then we move into the next week of the month, the 14th to the 21st. On the 14th to the 21st, Venus, first of all, has ingressed on the 13th, 14th time zone dependent into Libra, her home kingdom. And this is very positive. We get her here for a while until November the 6th. So from October 13th, 14th to November the 6th, Venus is very strong and she's in good shape, really helping us. Unlike the first 12 days of October when she was fallen in our money house of chunks and other people's money and tax monies and whatever. Now she's like, hallelujah, I've got my A game going. I'm going to give you a lot of blessings in book publishing, legal and court outcomes, matters connected to foreign travel, foreign places, and foreign people, matters connected to the word international, matters connected to pilgrimages, guides, spiritual advisors, and mentors and coaches. Good stuff happening. As Venus enters into this part of the sky on the 13th, 14th, she's going to immediately create an air trine in houses 1, 5, and 9. That is our Dharma houses to put us in purpose, to get us aligned with our deep meaning of life. But they're also Dharma houses as well. Dharma purpose is so powerful. They're lucky. This is the house of good fortune, your 5th house. This is a Lakshmi luck house. There's luck, there's ease, there's flow, there's purpose, there's meaning. That's the vibe. And you're feeling it really strongly 13th, 14th, and 15th, because not only is there this short-lived but beautiful air trine, and it could really help you pop with a creative project, an entrepreneurial project. This can look like you're going to be a grandparent or a parent and you weren't planning it, just so you know. Surprise. And this is also connected to a kite pointed to Neptune in the house of writing, social media platforms with videography, communication, glamour, modeling, etc. Imagination, dreamy, writing, storytelling. And there's a real success going on for some of you. If you're like me, I'm a teacher of a skills-based trade called Sky Reader, Astrology. This is pointing at my teaching house. So I'm having some liftoff, say, in the teaching. I publish a Substack, I write. It could be a liftoff in something I'm creating on Substack. I have a very patient agent wishing that I would write an astrology book for her, a proposal. Maybe I'll finally get that thing off the ground in October. Who knows? But whatever it is, we're going to like it. It's going to feel very good. And we may be having some positive travel opportunities that are extremely important to our long-term destiny. You don't have to take a trip on October 13th, 14th, right? 15th. You may plan the trip, become aware of the trip, plot the trip, that kind of thing. As we move forward into the next narrative, you're going to see that we have this is now October 14th to the 21st, really diving into that part of the sky. We're going to see that at that time on October the 16th and 17th, the sun will come into a square to Jupiter. Don't be afraid of a square. With Jupiter, he always still brings good shit, even in a square. But squares demand action and decisions are the nature of Mars. And so Jupiter is, I'm in your work house, and this is your international house. I'm in your work house. This is in your spiritual house. I'm in your work house, book publishing, academics, professorial stories, legal and courts things. Lawsuits belong to the 6th house, and maybe you're going to win in a lawsuit. All I can say is that it looks good in the work front, but it connects you to 9th house matters. You may want to be planning a getaway trip connected to work, professional travel. Opportunities may emerge for professional travel. The sun is a natural ruler of Leo. And that's the house of the audience in the marketplace. And with the moon in that house, there's a lot of power you're experiencing with your clients, your marketplace, your audience, lifting things up a bit as well. And potentially something's going on with a 9th house figure. That would be a sibling too older than you. That could be a father figure, and some positive developments in the life of that person and lucky developments in the life of that person. It's always good to see Jupiter talking to the sun in any circumstance. It really brings the word golden opportunity. Okay. So look for your golden opportunity. I'll be talking about that in that week ahead video for that week. When we look at October 19th, Mercury bumps into Mars and they become one, called a conjunction. This is favorable for commercial success if that's something you do, writing, communicating, speaking, commerce, driving forward with excitement for your, making money through your ambitious self-starter energy. So this combination's in your career house. And there's another thing I want to say. Because this is also like Mars, he could also say it's time to end something, and Mercury's communicating that to you. If you were hating your job, you could get fired and you'll be relieved for it. But if you don't hate your job and all of that, then you could be looking at like a terminus, an ending, and maybe like handing over your, what do you call it, your resignation letter, or getting the pink slip, but hopefully not. Otherwise, you're dynamically, passionately engaged in advancing your cause or your success or your ambition through something that you're communicating or is being communicated to you. Like you got the promotion raise and you're jumping into a passionate action to execute the promise of how good you are at your job. Jupiter is flowing from the work house. We're going to get to that shortly. So it's definitely good for work, career matters, definitely good for your earnings and resources and increasing your money. And Mars is also in your chart and anybody's chart, right? Ruling Aries. And so anything you're doing in social media could also be extremely successful, but having a major decision action point connected to things you wish to voice or communicate or speak about. Mercury's kind of subtle here. He's in a stealthy Scorpio place. It could be a passionate new career ideas coming to you for how to make some more money in a new and more motivated way. October the 21st, the new moon will happen on the 28th degree of Libra. Did I talk about the earlier moon? Yes. And that's going to be in the house of publishing, in the house of travel, in the house of academics. You're hearing the story, right? New beginnings, fresh starts. Some of you could move to another country. Some of you could travel abroad for quite a bit after this. Some of you might spend 6 months abroad. Some of you might want to take this new beginning because Venus is helping you. And it is a Lakshmi luck house. And sorry, I keep losing the ascendant. It's a Lakshmi luck house, right? So this new moon coming into place on the 28th. Let's see if I can get it. Oops, sorry. On the 28th. Is fortunate. It's extremely lucky. And 28 is a household name degree, which can bring some recognition for something you've created in the world of publishing or publications. This is also really good for, teaching or even going to school, and lucky breaks because you get accepted at your favorite university or college, because it's a new moon, it lasts for at least 6 months afterwards or up to a year with a fulfillment point at the 6-month point full moon. So if you were planning to go back to school, this would be very positive as well. Take a pilgrimage, travel abroad quite a lot. Venus rules the house of property and home. You might want to move to another country over the course of the 6 months to a year after this new moon, just because she's so tightly bound to the moon and it's so positive. It really has a lot of support from Lord Jupiter. So if you do move your home, it might connect to renting a home abroad or a move of your home to maybe a foreign place connected to your career, job ambitions and actions. I think digital nomad would be a good word for this, with this energy of applying from your 5th house. Some of you might go very digital nomad in this kind of a chart. Now you're going to notice something as we move towards the next week, okay? You're going to notice that we're coming into a lot of water trine, which is why this is such a flowing and lucky month, as my thumbnail probably says. So before we get to the flow and luck, we have to notice that the sun will finally leave Libra and enter into Scorpio on the 23rd of October. And it will be here, 22nd, 23rd, time zone dependent, for a month. And this is a spotlight on your career. But as the sun, and you're looking like bright and shiny at the top of the sky, even though you might be burning out. When you see this October 23rd moon, sun ingress, I see a fallen moon. And so the warning sign of this is burnout. So between October 23rd and even into November, please be careful. You're not so driven and so passionate. You're going to be burning out and exhausting yourself, and it's not good for your health. The moon is a ruler of the house of sickness. So this is where you have to pull back the throttle if need be. But as the sun ingresses, it squares Pluto, power, struggle, authority, and power struggle with somebody that is trying to be the boss of you, especially with Mars up there. Someone's trying to tell you what to do. They're acting like a daddy-o, a boss, a patriarchal authority figure. It could be a woman. Someone's trying to tell you what you need to do or what you should do, and you may not agree, and that's okay. You are definitely going to push back if needed because you have the Pluto energy here, but it can be a bit of that feeling really early on, like the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, right? Stand your ground, but listen, because Mars is also in dignity. So listen to what they have to say, but don't necessarily back down. Then we have the last big, beautiful story that I love, and that is this big triangle called a grand water trine. This is fortunate, this is flowing, and this is lucky. What I love about it is that it is going to activate your Artha houses of income, financial resources, earnings, job, career, employee situations. It also activates your 10th house of reputation, social standing, and career. Even if you're retired, these things are true. It just might look a little different, right? You just got elevated to the head of the bingo club or something. So everything's going up. Everything's like on the upswing here in flowing ways. Mars in dignity is telling you exactly how to accept this flow by making executive decisions, speaking exactly what you need, talking very clearly about your wants. That decisiveness, that drive, that ambition and passion is important. But Mars also tells you what to let go of and what to quit. If you need to quit or cut something away, he knows exactly what you need to get rid of for this success to happen. Now, it starts off, though, with Mercury taking the handle of this energy. So you're going to get some information and some news maybe about from about the 21st to about the 25th, 6th. Mercury's holding the strength of this triangle. And then second of all, 25th to the end of the month, Mars. Information, news, conversations, negotiations, followed by action, decisions, and execution of it. So like get it done, right? And so that's a vibe. And, the sun is the natural ruler of the house of legal agreements. And so Mercury likes to sign those kinds of things as well. You might be signing on some dotted lines about new contractual terms of service or legal agreements of some kind. Your health can be quite improved under this energy if you pull back from overwork and you pay attention as well to what you need to eliminate from your dietary habits and patterns, where Mars is trining your second house, giving you the news and information of what is not good for your body. And you might make some unexpected dietary restrictions where Saturn sits. But these restrictions will be very good for your health and your overall energy and fuel your career success. So sometimes it's something simple, like you don't know that you're allergic to gluten, or you don't know you can't eat legumes. And so a very simple dietary mandate may occur for increasing health at this time. All right. And one more thing about this, you are ruled by Saturn. You got to trust him here, even in retrograde, even in Pisces, even with the North Node and foggy Neptune. There is definitely a call to make a change in the structures of your money in relationship to your career so that you can thrive and prosper in your health and work routines. So that's what I got for you, but you're going to know what it is as the last week of October unfolds. And then we have the last story of the month. Mercury moves into Sag, where he's going to be for a very long time. The reason it's so long, if you want to know, is because he is going to be retrograding here. And so he starts off, gets to about the 6th degree, and turns around. So by the 19th of November, he's back in your 10th house. It kind of suggests that from about the end of October through to the end of November, a lot of what you're doing is working on your career matters connected to profitability in your career. And you're changing your mind, or you're changing your ideas and going back and forth. As Mercury first enters your 11th house, he opposes Uranus for a surprise, a shock. But Mercury's in the house of windfalls and pennies from heaven. Uranus is in the house of winning money, good fortune. And so you could actually just win some money off of this. And what a surprise that is, October the 29th. And because this whole thing is talking to the wealth god Pluto and a wedge, if anybody's going to unexpectedly win money, it's you. However, this can also be connected to something going on in the life of a sibling, one older, a sibling two younger, a child of yours, and a surprise in their life. Because it's coming into action with the moon in Aquarius, and the moon exalts your home life. The moon can represent matters connected to your emotions. It's very intense energy. Whatever the surprise is, it can positively impact your home life. The moon is the exaltation lord of your home. So you might have some windfall that allows for a change of home, a move to a new home, a better home. That's an example. And I feel whatever the surprise is, with Venus in your 9th house, another interpretation is you're going to be a grandparent. That same interpretation is there with the moon in Aquarius. So if you have any children who are making children, then this is the announcement coming your way. And Mercury here, he's going to be here, as I said, till the 19th. He's going to retrograde halfway through that. But, you're also busy. More social time is coming for you, more desire to be having fun, with friends as you round out the end of the month into mid-November. You might be seeing friends you haven't seen in a while. You might be having more fun with friends. You might be way more social than you normally are. And that's going to feel like a really nice relief for you. So you will be looking forward to that, having more fun, having more social life. Mercury is the ruler of your house of fun. And, so there's a quality of that. I'm hinting at he's going to hit the bending of the nose of fate, and he's going to dramatically pivot your style of income earnings and money management, but that's not till November. So stay tuned for that when it comes. All right. Thank you for listening, fellow Aquarians. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out Sky Reader. I'd love to see you there. Starting on September 27th, you get the live Q&A calls with me. You get replays. You get to keep the content forever. Renn Butler's an amazing teacher. I wouldn't tell you to go see him if I didn't have the best experience ever. I support other astrologers whose work I believe in, and I believe he's got one of the best astrology courses I've taken in my life. So go check him out below, and he'll give you my special code. So don't forget to say Lori sent you, or you'll end up paying full price. Take care, everybody, and have a wonderful day.